When silence speaks louder than screams, some stories don't begin with explosions or applause. They begin with a whisper, a shift in the air, a presence too calm to be ordinary. This is one of those stories. In a school where power was worn like a brand name and popularity was currency, silence was often mistaken for weakness, and Jalen Ward, he was silent, too silent. The kind of quiet that made people uncomfortable, made them assume, made them target. He didn't beg for acceptance, he didn't ask for kindness, he simply watched, and when they pushed him too far, they found out they picked on the wrong black kid. Jalen Ward, a quiet black student, transfers to Ridgefield High. Jalen Ward, a quiet black student, transfers to Ridgefield High. The cold January wind followed Jalen Ward through the gates of Ridgefield High like a shadow that didn't quite belong. He walked with a calm, measured pace, hood pulled over his head, backpack snug, eyes scanning everything but meeting no one. His arrival didn't come with a handshake from the principal or an announcement over the PA system. It was just a name added to the roster and a boy shuffled into the back row of Algebra Roman 2. Jalen didn't speak unless asked. He didn't dress like the trend, chasers, or try to impress anyone with stories. His notebook was always neat, his test scores quiet and perfect. He was invisible in a school where being loud was currency. The students noticed, and not in the way you'd hope. He didn't look rich, he didn't look soft, and worst of all, he didn't look like he cared about being liked. And for the kings of Ridgefield High, that made him a problem. He becomes a target for bullying by the school's popular boys. Derek, Mason, and Tyler ran Ridgefield High like their personal stage. Sons of wealthy families, dressed in designer sneakers and surrounded by sycophants. They made the rules by breaking them, and they didn't like it when someone didn't play along. Jalen was too quiet. Too calm, too different. At first it was subtle, a shoulder bump in the hallway, a mocking "what's up, silent ninja," as they passed him in the cafeteria, but when Jalen didn't flinch or bark back, they saw it as a challenge. Trash mysteriously appeared in his locker. His name was scrawled in marker on a bathroom stall beside slurs. At lunch, someone accidentally knocked over his tray. Phones recorded everything. Laughter echoed louder than compassion. Jalen never reacted. He simply picked up his books, his tray, or his silence, and moved on. But behind those unreadable eyes, something sharp was stirring, something they couldn't see coming. Jalen remains calm and silent, refusing to retaliate openly. Jalen's silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Each insult, every shove, every whisper behind his back was met with the same calm demeanor. He never raised his voice, never complained to the principal, never fought back, not even when his name started trending on students' phones under hashtags like #GhostKid and #MuteWard. The others thought it meant they were winning, that Jalen was too scared or too dumb to clap back. But Jalen didn't operate on their level. While they were busy looking for attention, he was observing. While they cracked jokes, he was remembering every detail, names, faces, passwords glimpsed over shoulders. Sloppy tech habits left unchecked. What they saw as silence was simply calculation. Because Jalen knew something they didn't. A storm doesn't need to speak to bring the lightning. The bullies escalate their harassment. Filming and mocking him, emboldened by his lack of reaction, Derek, Mason, and Tyler doubled down. They filmed short clips of Jalen eating alone, adding mocking commentary and posting them to social media. One video had Mason fake trip in front of Jalen, spilling his drink, only to accuse Jalen of being hostile. The camera caught Jalen simply standing still, unbothered, but the online caption read, "Bro about to snap any second face with tears of joy, #TikTok time bomb." They laughed like they were comedians, actors in a show only they controlled. And the school let it slide, because these boys were untouchable. Their parents were donors, their smiles were masks, their records clean. They thought it was just fun, just jokes, just high school. They had no idea the same kid they were filming was quietly building a case they couldn't laugh off. Suddenly, mysterious acts of revenge begin targeting the Bullies. It started with Mason's car, a sleek red Camaro, freshly washed, now covered in perfect, deep scratches from bumper to bumper. No one saw it happen, no cameras, no alarms, just a silent message carved into paint, "Watch closely." Next, Derek's locker mysteriously popped open during third period, spilling dozens of photocopies of his failing math examics, posed for the entire hallway to see. He went pale when he realized the original had vanished from his backpack. Then Tyler received a text from an unknown number, a screenshot of his group chat, not just any message, the one filled with racial slurs, jokes, about Jalen and things he never thought would leave that thread. He stared at the screen, hands shaking. Something, or someone, was playing a very different game now, and it wasn't a prank. Private and damaging information about them begins to leak within days. Ridgefield High transformed from a playground to a minefield for the bullies. A viral video appeared unedited, polished, and stitched perfectly. Mason's dad, a rising city councilman, was seen at a private event, drunk and shouting at a local officer. The video had captions, zooms, and enhanced audio. It looked like something made by professionals. Only it wasn't. Next came Derek's internship cancellation. Thanks to an anonymous tip sent to the law firm attaching images of him vandalizing school property, the timestamp and angles flawless. Tyler's racist group chat screenshots. Now leaked to local news, he was pulled from the basketball team mid-season, no explanation given, but everyone knew the Kings of Ridgefield were falling one by one, but no one saw who pushed them. Jalen kept walking those same halls, same hoodie, same silence, only now his silence echoed. Jalen is revealed to be the tech-savvy son of a former FBI cyber expert, the truth unraveled like a hacker's code. Quietly, perfectly, and right on time. One curious student decided to Google Jalen's last name, just once, just out of boredom. What popped up wasn't just surprising, it was chilling. Ava Ward, former FBI cybersecurity specialist, now head of a private digital forensics firm, known for hunting down identity thieves, money launderers, and even a rogue foreign hacker ring, enlisted in her biography, mentor to youth technologists, including her son, Jalen Ward. The pieces snapped into place like magnets. Jalen wasn't just quiet, he was trained, he didn't need fists. He had a keyboard, he didn't need followers, he had skills that let him track IP, clone phone data, and access private chats without ever getting caught. And now, the once invisible kid was being looked at very, very differently. He uses his intelligence to quietly dismantle their reputations. Jalen never bragged, he never gloated, but his work, it was undeniable. Every leak, every exposure, every digital breadcrumb had his fingerprints, hidden in plain sight. He didn't hack for vengeance, he revealed truth, and he did it with surgical precision. He used facial recognition software to match blurred videos to real identities. He reverse-engineered deleted posts, restored chat logs, and even traced audio files back to their original creators. He didn't destroy their lives, he simply held up a mirror. While his bullies had tried to break his spirit publicly, he brought their actions into the light, quietly, elegantly, and without saying a word. By the time they realized what hit them, it was too late. Jalen Ward had already rewritten the rules, and now the boy they called Nobody had made himself unforgettable. The bullies suffer real consequences: expulsions, scandal, lost futures one by one. The Kings fell. Tyler was the first to disappear, called into the principal's office, and never returned to the basketball court. His scholarship prospects dissolved overnight. No one said it out loud, but everyone knew why. The screenshots were real, the messages unforgivable. Then came Mason's father, forced to resign from city office under public scrutiny after the leaked video went viral. Local media ran stories for weeks. Drunk councilman caught in disgrace, read the headlines. Mason couldn't walk the hallways without seeing his name attached to shame, and Derek, once the smug leader of it all, was expelled after a digital audit tied him to online harassment and vandalism. The firm that had offered him a summer internship pulled out. His social circle collapsed, their empire crumbled, not with fists or fights, but with facts and exposure, all delivered silently, all traced back to the kid they once laughed at. Jalen gains respect and leaves a lasting message without ever raising his voice. Jalen didn't change. He still wore the same hoodie, walked the same halls, and sat in the same back seat of class, but the energy around him had shifted completely. No more whispers, no more laughter behind his back. Now, when he passed, people nodded. Some with respect, others with fear, but all with awareness. He never spoke of what happened. He never claimed credit, but everyone knew, not because he said anything, but because the truth no longer needed his voice. Jalen had shown them something Ridgefield High would never forget. Power doesn't need volume. Justice doesn't need rage. Sometimes all it takes is silence backed by brilliance and the courage to wait. And from that moment forward, the halls were quieter, not because Jalen had been silenced, but because everyone else had finally learned how to listen. The smartest voice in the room never raised his Jalen never needed to scream, threaten, or swing. He didn't fight the way his tormentors expected, because he didn't need to. While they played loud, messy games with power, he operated in silence with precision and purpose. And in the end, when their masks crumbled and their reputations fell, Jalen remained standing, unchanged, unreadable, but unforgettable. He didn't just survive Ridgefield High, he redefined it, because sometimes the loudest lesson isn't the one shouted from a stage. It's the one delivered silently by the kid no one saw coming.